Morning to you guys. How are you? I'm Sean Butler. Bugsy Malone is just in front of me, and this is episode 118 of Tottenham Walks at the Spurs Talk Show. Guys, of course, you know I hope you're all happy and healthy, but I also want you to know today that I'm very grateful and thankful for your support over the last 12 months. Last night we got over 4,000 subscribers on the channel, which it's a small but still very relevant and cool milestone. I thought I'd take some time to say how much I appreciate each and every one of you guys that have been a part of the conversation and a part of this new hobby that I've kind of built over the last year. I remember a year ago, it was maybe 2 weeks over a year ago, I did my first ever kind of StreamYard live stream to myself on a game. I think I gave up after about 25 minutes because I felt very awkward talking to myself. But stuck with it, and then carried on doing it for a year, and the numbers just keep going up. And I just wanted to say to everyone that's liked videos, that's subscribed, of course, that's contributed to the conversation in the comment section, that's been on the live streams with us, people that I've met in and around Tottenham at games through this community, and obviously people that are in WhatsApp groups with me. It's really cool to know you guys. And look, I know everyone's had a really tough period in their lives, or most people have, since COVID, and I'm certainly part of that group. Not comparing lives or anything, or lifestyles, but relative to the period before COVID, I think most people would agree that the world's gone weird, and it's difficult, horrendously difficult for a lot of people, whether they're struggling with losing people, or job losses, or mental health issues, just stress, depression, loneliness, whatever it's it has been the cause of people's unhappiness of late. I feel it too, but finding this Tottenham community has been a real blessing, and I absolutely adore spending my mornings with Bugsy talking to you guys, and then getting to know your opinions on whatever topics we're talking about in the comment section later. So massive thank you guys, it means the world. Right, let's get on with today's short video, and before we do, as always guys, please smash the like button, smash the subscribe button if you haven't already, hit the notification bell, and drop a comment if you would like to get your thoughts on the topic off your mind, off your chest. So guys, today's topic really is about the noise, the news that's out there in The Athletic, I think, and then it was taken and ran with by the Telegraph and the Times, and that is that unfortunately there's no real positive news that's coming out of Tottenham around the contract talks, that apparently Conte hasn't been told the things he wants to hear, and that if anything it's moving into kind of negative territory, which is obviously a shame to hear, because within the detail, whilst it says that they're still hopeful that a deal will be done, allegedly Daniel Levy has offered him an extra £1 million a year as a contract improvement, and he kind of wasn't that interested in that. And I can understand, why would you be? If you're earning £14 million a year, something like that, that's 300 grand a week. To be offered an extra 20 grand a week doesn't really touch the sides, does it? It's not going to be your motivation unless you're a real greedy kind of mercenary. Allegedly, what he's looking for is reassurances that he's going to get what he needs to do his job to the best of his ability, and that is ready-made players, no longer youth players, but ready-made players that can come in and impact the team in the way that he needs them to, with immediate effect. And to me, that makes sense, right? But the problem is that Levy's saying that there's just not that much money available to hand out this January. Which again, I scratch my head to. I just don't see how that's possible. The fact that we have £50 million sat in escrow that hasn't been taken yet is, the first challenge that I would have to that statement. Plus, we've already made been paid 62 million from broadcasters and the Champions League money, plus whatever money we've made from the boxing and the NFL. All of those things, should be contributing more revenues to Tottenham Hotspur than teams like Arsenal would have coming in. They're not using their stadium the same way we are. They don't have the Champions League revenue. And yet if they need to find money to replace Gabriel Jesus, or to sign that Mudryk or whoever else, they'll find it. So it's very frustrating to hear these things if they're true. What I'd also say, guys, is that, for me, I don't think it's going to cost that much money this January window to do what we need to have done. I know that next summer we're going to need to be thinking about getting a Lloris replacement and maybe plugging the final holes of the system. But we have to fend off the cavalry that are coming over the mountain in the shape of the colours of black and white Newcastle shirts over here and Chelsea shirts in the blue and 2 different shades of red in Man United and Liverpool. The cavalry are coming. And so really the goal should be for the rest of this season is to finish in the top 4. In all reality, we're not going to put on a title charge, of course. So we just need to fend off that threat, get through to the summer, and then be able to have, ideally, additional revenues and the Champions League on offer to then go again and fill the final plugs. And I don't think that it's going to take that much money to be able to do that. That £50 million that's sat in escrow, if you could find another £10 million, which could easily be found, then I think £60 million is enough to get everything that we need for right now. You can have De Vrij potentially available for £8 million. Inter will lose him in the summer. He could sign a pre-contract agreement on January the 1st. So maybe they want to cash in. They need some money. Maybe they'll cash in on him and get that job done. For £38 million, the buyout clause, you can get Pedro Porro, a brilliant right wing back. Now, he might not be the player that Conte wants, but if Conte wants a player that I don't particularly want because he's more of a Conte style player like Denzel Dumfries, then you could probably do a deal. I'm guessing I'm playing FIFA a little bit here, but from all the rumours, Inter are interested in both Davinson Sanchez and in Denzel Dumfries. And in Emerson Royale. Emerson Royale's not short of suitors. I don't know why, it beggars belief, but a lot of teams in Spain and in Italy are very keen on him. Maybe it's because he's young and they can see that the game is different in those leagues, or maybe they think he's a better fit for a right back situation rather than a right wing back. Who knows? But for me, there's abilities there to raise some funds. With that £50 million, you could go and get, as I say, De Vrij. You could go and get Pedro Porro or Denzel Dumfries for 25 million, maybe 30 million, or do a player plus cash swap deal for Emerson Royale, because you'd probably need to get rid of a right wing back before you can bring another one in. Or you could raise money through loaning out Bryan Hill, or even selling Bryan Hill to a Spanish club. He's not short of any suitors. And then you could also go and get your Lilian Thuram's or your Ruslan Malinovskis. We only really need 3 players. 2, if we're brutally honest, is a centre-back and a right wing-back. And if they're good enough, and they come in early enough in January, then we can kick on, absent any major injuries, absent, getting really unlucky with the rub of the green, we can kick on and protect that top 4, hopefully go on a Champions League run, hopefully go on an FA Cup run, see what happens in those competitions. But you don't need to spend fortunes. So when Daniel Levy says there's not that much money, or I don't know what he's talking about, first and foremost, because there's probably everything that we need sitting in escrow, waiting that he allocated to Tottenham's potential usage back in May. It's really bloody frustrating, guys, if what we're reading is true, and of course it might not be true, who knows, it could just be people making things up, but all we can do on this channel is go with what's in the press. And if the noise today is true that the contract talks are slowing down, they're turning negative, if anything, not because of the money side of things from Conte's salary, but because of the lack of funds available to buy players, then given the amount of players that are available, that are out of contract soon, the various costs that it would take or require to get them, and the money that we already have that's sitting in the bloody escrow, I'm getting really annoyed. But I'm not going to let it ruin my day. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Where do you sit on this thing? How much money do you think we absolutely need? What's the minimum money that you think it would take for us to get what we need to get through until the summer and then go again? Like, share and subscribe, guys. I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, bye-bye.